ECU?
Do you bleed purple and gold?
Are you ready to hoist the colors?
Hoist the colors!
It's time for the most in-depth look into the world of ECU athletics. Welcome to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Watch the show live on Facebook
And at 943thegame.com. Here's Stephen Igo.
Welcome in, Hoist the Colors on a Monday. It is May 19th. Conference tournament week is here for East Carolina baseball. It's now or never. If ECU wants to make a run at this thing to extend its season, make a regional for a 8th consecutive year, they're going to have to win the conference tournament. In Clearwater, Pirates lose 2 out of 3 to USF. Over the weekend, we'll get into that. We'll be joined by head coach Cliff Godwin here shortly to recap the USF series. Also look ahead to the rematch with South Florida on Tuesday in the double elimination conference tournament. The back half of the show, we've got Joe Samson set to join us as well. His New York Knicks are in the Eastern Conference Finals, along with his Carolina Hurricanes and the NHL side, so he's a happy man. We'll visit with him, talk NHL, NBA playoffs, MLB, and ECU baseball as well. We've got Philip Pilkington producing Behind the Glass, and we are live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. If you have a question, comment, concern, drop it there. You can always check out our archives on those channels, as well as Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Philip, how you doing on this Monday?
I'm all right. You know, Celtics got beat this weekend. Red Sox stink. Joey Logano's still a crybaby. But, hey, we got a lot of fun Pirate baseball coming this week because we got games from Tuesday through Sunday, baby.
And with that, I do want to mention we are going to have a live watch-along for at least the conference tournament opener. Now, we do not know exactly when the first pitch will be. I guess theoretically it's scheduled for 7, but there's no shot they'll start at 7 because there's a 4 o'clock game, and that may not even start at 4 o'clock, and the ECU game won't start until 45 minutes after the 4 o'clock. So stay tuned, but we'll have a live watch-along. James Gilio, Brady Thomas, Bobby Harward. Philip will be around producing the game. He may pop in. We will be presented by SupDogs, and we'll be giving away free subscriptions to Hoist the Colors every inning with a contest. So tune in tomorrow night along with our show. So looking forward to that, Philip. Even if the Pirates stay as short in Clearwater, we're at least going to have some fun on Tuesday. And if they win, we may try to run it back for a watch-along Thursday. So I think it'll be a fun time. Sorry you can't really participate.
Yeah. I kind of keep getting hosed on this deal, man.
Yeah, you're missing out.
Yeah. The problem is, man, we got to get Isaac here full-time so he can quit using the excuse, I can't work at night, I have to be at Chick-fil-A at 5 a.m. I would use the same excuse he was using if I was in his boat, but we need Isaac to produce these things so that I can do 9 dogs, 9 beers, 9 innings. Are we not doing that this year?
I don't think we're officially doing that because we don't want to throw up, and it's going to be late nights. And Talk of the Town will be broadcasting from this very studio early the next morning. We don't want to leave anything on the ground for Henry Hinton and company, but we'll see. Maybe somebody will be daring enough. But we'll have enough hot dogs via SupDogs to do it. Some quick thoughts on USF before we get a break in and hear from Cliff because we got that interview lined up. You know, I came on Friday's show and I was like, ECU basically did what they needed to do. They won a game on Thursday. As long as they didn't go out and get run ruled the next 2 days, I would be happy with their performance. Now, they went out and immediately got run ruled the next day. And the series finale started off poorly as well. So, like, they did not respond in pretty much meaningless games very well, I will say, which is a little bit of concern. But they also didn't throw Ethan Norby. So, I don't make too much of the weekend other than the fact they're going to have to clean up the defense. And it sounds like in order to do that, which we'll hear from shortly with Cliff Godwin, Philip, they're going to make a defensive change with Alex Boucher no longer playing shortstop going into the tournament. So it seems like they're going to make defense a priority heading into Clearwater.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you can't give away runs in postseason play. You know, we saw it a lot this weekend with, you know, if you're watching the NCAA tournament for softball, but it seemed like a lot of the teams, there were some upsets, and it was because of bad innings where the runs were given away. And at the end of the day, yeah, you want to score runs, you want to have big bats in the lineup, but the free 90s, man, you know, we talk about them on the mound a lot. We don't talk about them a lot in the field, and I think you just got to do what's best for the club.
Going to have to limit those walks and the errors and the stolen bases heading into Tuesday's game against South Florida. We'll go ahead and get our first break in. When we come back, we'll have Cliff Godwin, Patrick Johnson, and myself. We'll talk about the USF series and look ahead to the conference tournament opener on Tuesday night. This is Hoist the Colors on a Monday.
The team of Flatlands Jessup is working overtime to help ensure that Eastern North Carolinians like you get the health insurance help you need this open enrollment period. New legislation passed, meaning more people than ever qualify for affordable coverage. Let us help you today.
Are you ready to tackle those yard and garden projects? Come by East Carolina Tractor and Fleet, your local Coyote dealer, and check out their great selection of residential and commercial Coyote tractors. From zero-turn mowers to compact tractors to skid steer loaders, they've got you covered. Some with 0% financing for qualified buyers. Stop by your hometown Coyote dealer, East Carolina Tractor and Fleet, across from the Pitt County Fairgrounds, or online at ectfleet.com. East Carolina Tractor and Fleet. We dig dirt.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
At Parker's Barbecue, our family has been serving your family for 3 generations.
For that, we say thank you.
Blessing families every Thursday. Kids eat free all day. That's the Parker's way.
Legendary food served from our 3 locations. Always quick, always delicious. That's the Parker's way.
At Parker's, our mission is to impact our customers through Christ-like service in a way that feeds them both physically and spiritually. That is the Parker's way.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
Tired of the 1-800 numbers advertising Medicare products? Flatlands Jessup has 6 offices all throughout eastern North Carolina. Get face-to-face help from our local award-winning licensed team. Stop by today. Flatlands Jessup, your whole world covered.
The Pirates play here.
Time to play the game.
This is Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
We're joined now by head coach Cliff Godwin, Patrick Johnson, and myself, Stephen Igo. We're about to preview the American Athletic Conference Tournament. Coach coming to us live from Clearwater, Florida. Pirates will play Tuesday night, 45 minutes following the 3rd game of the day, so it'll be a late night most likely on Tuesday. Well, Coach, we'll start just with the USF series, which Patrick Johnson was on the call for, which was great to hear him representing 94.3 The Game. But you guys won the first game, and then the next 2 obviously go in USF's favor, close game 3. Just before we dive into the conference tournament, your thoughts on the weekend that was for the Pirates?
I thought Thursday we played as good of a game as we have played all year. Was really excited with our focus. Lance Williams was awesome. He gave us a great open. We played really good defense. Brad Pruitt was good. Ethan Young was good. We knew that we were going to throw Brad and Ethan on Thursday and limit their pitch count. We knew that Norby was not going to pitch the entire weekend, so he could be fresh for Tuesday. And everything just went as planned. And we, got a big swing by Dixon after we had an unbelievable double play turn with the bases loaded. I think that was in the 4th inning. And just really played a really, really solid game. The rest of the weekend did not go like that, which has been our MO to this point in the season. And but we did have some guys do some good things. We just did not play complete team baseball, being good defensively, offensively, and on the mound in either one of those 2 games.
Coach, obviously, you, as you mentioned, a leg knock to throw Ethan Norby in the series against USF, which means he will be fresh for Tuesday. And, Ethan is a competitor. Just what was that conversation like? Did he want to try to get out there at all to win some games, or is he focused on Tuesday trying to go as long as possible as his team needs him?
Well, you go back to Wichita State that weekend. He's sick. He throws a lot on Saturday after coming off of sickness, and then it's a short week of rest going into UTSA. And he came out of the game. He just didn't feel great in the UTSA game, and I don't know how many pitches he threw. So it was more just precautionary. And we of course talked with him and just made sure. And he got off the mound on Friday and threw a really light bullpen and felt great, but just no reason to risk it. We've got to win the conference tournament. We know that. We haven't been in this situation since 2017, so 8 years of knowing we're in a regional. So we're in uncharted waters for a lot of people, but 8 years ago we were in the same situation. So, except we were the 8th seed. We need to have our best arms available and fresh going through a long week.
Coach Cliff Godwin with us. And Coach, you mentioned that Thursday game. I thought defensively, I think outside of one fly ball that was kind of lost in the maybe the sky or something, y'all played phenomenal defense. It just kind of showed, turning that double play, how much that was a game changer when y'all are locked in all three phases, how good you can be. And then obviously the next few days were not to that caliber. So I don't know, how small are the details in a tournament like this, especially defensively making the routine plays and just not giving teams those extra outs when every out's going to be at a premium across this week?
Yeah, you have to be like super uber talented to overcome mistakes defensively, and we're not. We're talented enough for sure. I mean, I've said this to a lot of people. We're way more talented than the 2017 team. Obviously, that team dealt with injuries like we've dealt with this group, but you just can't overcome those things, especially young pitchers that we're putting out there. It's just hard for them to navigate for sure. So there will be some defensive changes going to the conference tournament. So, the infield, and I've already talked to Boucher. Boucher's a great kid, man. He's an unbelievable human and really has put a lot of pressure on himself, and probably too much, to the point he's trying to be perfect. And when he's made an error, and it normally comes in bunches. So, on Tuesday night, you're going to see Colby Wallace at third, Dixon Williams at short, Braden Burse at second, and Austin Irby at first base. So, and you might see Boucher DH play first base, maybe even some left field. So he's played first base before, but we're going to work him out of those positions. And he is a great teammate and is all for just trying to help the team win.
Cliff Godwin with us here. Let's talk a little bit about the pitching in some detail. It seems like you got everything set up as best you can for this weekend. But Nick Moran came in. Zayak gave you a really good start on Saturday, the freshman, and then Moran came in and was outstanding. Those were two guys that it was good to see that from. Moran, and I think you'd said Lance Williams, and there was one other in there you'd mentioned that were some guys you wanted to see with this final series. So just overall, the pitching performance, kind of guy by guy that appeared, and do you feel pretty good about that going into Tuesday and for the duration of the event?
Yeah, I mean, Lance Williams, Nick Moran, and Zayak all pitched great, and that is definitely a good sign heading into the conference tournament, because we're going to need those guys for sure. So, and even Sean Jenkins, I mean, look, the box score, and I called Chip or sent him a text right after the game. I was like, man, as bad as we played defense, there's no way Sean Jenkins gave up 5 earned runs in that outing. And I don't know. I'm not an official scorekeeper, and I didn't have time to go back through every little play and see if it was an earned run or not. But Sean Jenkins pitched good enough for us to be able to stay in the game, and we just played bad defense behind him. So, but Sean has continued to, trend in the right direction. And so those 4 guys for sure are going to be needed as you have a long conference tournament week.
Yeah, absolutely. The double play on Thursday in a game where the Pirates played outstanding was a really good catalyst, I think, to the inning where you guys put it on the board, start off with a couple of hits, and then get the bat pass to Dixon with no outs, and then he hit, just kind of nuked one onto the top of the ceiling of their batting cage facility there. He also hits a home run for you in the late stages of Saturday's game. So the bat for Dixon Williams, as far as the long fly goes, is seeming to come alive. Yeah,
Dixon has historically warmed up as the season has gotten going, and as temperatures warm up, some guys just have a knack when it's down the stretch to play well, and he's definitely swung the bat well. So excited to see that as we head into the conference tournament.
Cliff, Corey Bronze, who you saw on Friday, he's their starter, their number one guy lefty. I presume you'll see him tomorrow against you all. With playing a team you just played off of the conference tournament, I think that happened before with Rice in recent times, or it happened with somebody in recent times for the Pirates. Anything to that, or is it just such a 0-0 start you can't worry about, something that even though you played them a few games ago?
I'm pretty sure it's happened back-to-back conference tournaments. I think 2 years ago
Okay.
it was South Florida. Igo could fact check me on that, and then last year was Rice. We did see Braun for a couple innings. They had him on a pitch count. He's one of the best pitchers in the conference. They have not seen Norby, which there's plenty of video out there, so they'll be able to do it. But look, man, you line up and you go play championship baseball. I mean, it's survive and advance, and that's what you got to go do. And we've got to figure out how to play consistent baseball. And Tuesday's a big game because if you win on Tuesday, you get Wednesday off. So for us, especially not being as deep as we've been in the past on the mound, that's definitely going to be something that we probably to be successful in this tournament, we need to win on Tuesday.
Coach Cliff Godwin with us on this Monday. And Coach, when you look at, I know you referenced after Saturday's game, the guys looked a little tired position player-wise. I guess that means no potential beach time. And you guys are on the road, staying in Florida throughout this duration of the series, going to the tournament. So how important is it to kind of manage and try to have those fresh legs? And y'all will have all of Tuesday to sit around and think about it, I guess. But just the standpoint of keeping those guys fresh when you're on the road for so long.
Well, I guess you've talked to somebody that then they told you that I told them no beach time or pool time. This team hasn't deserved to be on vacation at any point in time, and that's including myself. So, we need to be fresh. Yesterday we worked out at a weight room there in Tampa. We had a nice team meal. We got here, 3-ish, got checked in. The guys could go get something to eat. And then we had a meeting last night at 7:30. The guys have a pretty busy schedule today from the standpoint. They had breakfast this morning at 10 a.m. They got some breathing stuff, treatments going on. We'll meet here after lunch. Our practice time is at 4 o'clock today, which I think this is the latest practice time we've ever had since I've been the coach at East Carolina, which is fine because it just allows them not to have too much downtime to want to maybe go onto the beach. So we'll practice today at 4. We'll get back. We're actually going to watch a movie and have a team meal. And tomorrow we haven't even mapped out the schedule yet, but we'll probably do some mobility in the hotel room at some point in time just to keep them off social media and just all the phone time that they normally this generation seems to spend, and just stay connected with one another. And we'll have a pregame meeting like we always do, pregame meal, and head over to the field probably way too early because they have the game scheduled, I think, for 7, and there's no way that we will play at 7 o'clock tomorrow night when you have 3 games in front of you.
Coach, you also referenced Evan Krasinski, obviously one of the better pitchers in your tenure at ECU, spoke to the team prior to the series. What did that mean to you and the guys?
Man, it's just awesome, the care that our former players have for this place. And I'll try not to get emotional, but it wasn't planned. It was off the cuff, and Cruz actually was taking his fiance to the airport, and he said, "Hey, Coach, you got some time?" I was like, "Well, I need about an hour to finish up some of these relief pitchers, watching video on stuff," and got down to the hitters meeting. He was in the hitters meeting, and him and I went back. We had about an hour and chatted for about 30 minutes. And I said, "Hey, you want to talk to the team?" He goes, "Coach, I'd love to." And so he spoke to the team just about what it meant for him to, be able to finish his career at East Carolina. Obviously turned down the draft after 16 and came back in 17 was not how any of us planned it. His leg got broken, and talked to the team about how they made a run. in the conference tournament. Then they finished it off, but it's about momentum. It's about believing in one another. It's about doing it for the team, and nobody's going to remember what your individual stats are. They're going to remember what kind of team you're in. And he got choked up doing it, and it was very off the cuff. I don't know if I've seen Cruz get emotional many times in his life around me, but it's really special to me because it's a young man who looks back on his tenure at East Carolina and is so proud of it and just wants East Carolina baseball to have a ton of success.
Patrick referenced you guys will face USF for the 4th consecutive game. What really stood out, offensively about them? I know they stole some bases, on Kalinic, especially in the series finale. But what stood out about them, offensively and on the mound during those 3 games?
Well, you got to keep, those fast guys. You got to try to limit them over there as much as possible. Pruitt is an unbelievable base stealer. It's just tough if he gets to first base. I don't care who you are, who's catching. I mean, you really got to be quick to the plate. You got to have an accurate throw to second base. If not, he's going to be safe. And they do it. Their coaching staff does a really good job. I really have not known Mitch Hanna at all. I got to spend about 15 minutes talking to him on Thursday, and he's a really good coach. Their teams play hard. They're fundamentally sound. Their year has not been to what he wanted them to be either. And actually, their first baseman didn't play this weekend. I don't know if he's going to play tomorrow night or not, but who I think has 14 home runs, Greco. But, we, got a chat, and it's just a good guy who has been coaching baseball for a long time and done it the right way.
Cliff Godwin with Stephen Igo and myself here. A couple of players I wanted to bring up to you, Coach. We'll start with Jack Herring. You and I talked about him at times during the course of the final series, and of course has the home run, lays down a sacrifice for you at one point in the course of the series. Had a hit, I believe, in every game of the series, a couple extra base knocks. So Jack Herring coming along as the years progressed and seems to be peaking at a good time for the Pirates.
Yeah, Jack's continued to improve, man, in all areas of his game, and it is an adjustment coming from Division II to playing here, and our coaches have done a good job developing for sure. But he's competitive, man. He's not a very vocal guy, but he has a internal competitive drive. It's actually funny. Before he hit the home run, one of the strike calls were questionable. And he's like, talking to himself, like as the next pitch is coming on. And I'm like, hey man, you got to calm down. And then, later in the bat, he hits the home run, but super competitive, wants to win. And very excited about his growth for sure.
Let's talk a little further about Davin Whitaker. We talked about him, obviously before the Thursday game. And there's someone, and you discussed it with Igo and me last week, that has worked and just continued to work, shows up every day. Nothing's been handed to him, and he's someone that has found himself, again, as someone that seems to be coming along at the right time for the Pirates at this point in the season.
Yeah, he cares a lot. Probably cares too much at times and overthinks it. I grabbed him in the cage the other day. I was like, man, you play better when you come off the bench than when you start. And he's super honest. And as coach, sometimes I overthink things, and I'm doing a better job, but I think too much up there. And I'm like, hey man, you're a really good player, you're a really good hitter. Just go up there and look for a pitch in a certain area and get your swings off, man. And that's all we ask any of our guys. So happy to see him having some success for sure.
Coach, anything with the lineup, with what you told us about the infield, will it stack up any different? I know you moved Dixon up in the lineup for the third game. Will he be a little higher to maybe get him some more at-bats and some more opportunities potentially?
Not sure, Patrick. He actually likes to not hit too high up in the lineup, so trying to navigate all that stuff. But I threw him in the 2-hole just because he doesn't like that, and I was like, if I need to play there in the conference tournament, so he hit a home run, so maybe he likes hitting higher in the lineup now. We'll see.
You'll see. A lot to get to. Cliff, good luck in the tournament. Looking forward to the run, and best of luck tomorrow night against South Florida.
Appreciate you guys.
There is head coach Cliff Godwin recapping the series against South Florida, looking ahead to the conference tournament. We will get a break in. We'll come back. We'll be joined by Joe Samson. We'll continue Pirate baseball discussion. Also talk about the NHL NBA playoffs as well. This is Hoist the Colors on a Monday.
Hey, it's Jim Wells again with Wells Roofing and Gutters here in the beautiful community of Lindale, Bedford. At Wells Roofing and Gutters, we believe in quality first, and that's why we use CertainTeed shingles, which are manufactured in Oxford, North Carolina, a local company. In the event you ever do have a claim or a problem with your roof system, they're local and they come and take care of us in a timely manner. We could leave off some accessories and we could certainly save money, but we believe at Wells Roofing and Gutters in installing the correct way per manufacturer requirements, and we warranty your roof both in-house and also with our supplier, who is CertainTeed. For a job Wells done, no shortcuts taken, and a good quality job on your home, give us a call today, 252-227-8403. We also offer financing, 12 months, no interest, no payments.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors, with locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
Get ready to board.
We're live with Steve and Igo on 94.3 The Game. Now, back to Hoist the Colors.
Welcome back into Hoist the Colors on a Monday, a Reaction Monday, which means we are going to be joined by the one, the only, Joe Samson, Philip Pilkington producing behind the glass as well. Gentlemen, we have a lot to discuss. We have also I have no format for this. We're just going to go from the cuff, which is how we want to do it on this Monday, and that's what makes for best radio most of the time. So we'll figure it out. Joe, how you doing on this Monday?
I'm fantastic. Was there some news or something that anybody wants to talk about? Was it the fact that certain someone went 1 for 10 in his return to a certain stadium, maybe? $755 million man, I think he was.
Your Knicks are in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Them too. Baseball? Yeah. Just
Juan
another
Soto,
series.
one hit. But
one hit.
It is what it is.
This is the best week of Joe's sports life.
It really is.
Yeah.
You got the Juan Soto thing. The Yankees, after having a tough couple weeks the last few weeks, and not that they were bad, they were just mediocre.
They just weren't
that
good yet.
happens. And then, the Canes are in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Knicks are in the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, Joe
Chance
is
of revenge
riding
on
high.
both sides.
Yeah.
This is like 2009 when I was a Yankees fan living in Pennsylvania and we beat the Phillies in Philadelphia. This is a phenomenal week.
Don't forget, too, the schedule was released for the NFL, so he can,
This is true.
He can visualize the Jets actually winning
10-7.
So, it really was the perfect week for Joe. So we'll get to that, and he's got a lot to say, I'm sure. He's got to pick on Phillips Celtics. Although I feel like you've held back in our group chat. We'll just start there. Screw it. The Knicks beat the Celtics in 6 and walloped them in Game 6, and Do y'all have like a one-on-one chat where you've already talked crap, or have you just tried to not talk crap about Philip Celtics?
Yeah, I've tried to not talk a lot of crap about Philip Celtics, and that's because Philip's one of the good Boston fans. I know plenty of bad ones. I've been a Knicks fan for so long. I remember when I got excited that Chris Duhon was our first-round pick at one point. I was fired up that Frank Nicolita was going to lead us to the playoffs. I thought that in my heart of hearts, Dennis Smith Jr. was going to show up and be what Nate Robinson couldn't be. This is everything I've dreamed of. I was clowned, and I've said it before, when Jalen Brunson signed that mega deal, and I believed. I remember when people said Ryan Arcidiakono was going to start over him because he was just a second-round pick, and Arcidiakono was the point guard when they were at Villanova together. I sat by when Pablo Prigioni used to get the Garden fired up. I'm going to enjoy every moment of this, but I'm not going to deter that because Kasulki and Phillip try not to make it about Boston because they're spoiled, Igo. They're spoiled. They've seen so many championships. And not necessarily Kasulki because he's a Vikings fan, poor guy. But Phillip's sake, he's seen the Bruins, he's seen the Sox, and he's seen the Celtics. How am I supposed to sit there and make him feel bad about a single series when they're not measuring that as success? I'm sitting here watching when I know that the New York Knicks have not been to the Eastern Conference Finals since Jalen Brunson's father was on the roster.
Look, guys, I am upset the Nuggets lost, which if we have time, we'll get into that. But I do think it is cool that we're looking at 3 of the 4 teams remaining, Minnesota, Oklahoma City, Indiana Pacers, have not won a title, and then you have the Knicks who have not won a title since 1973. So, like, we're going to see something we have not seen at the worst in a long time.
Well, none of these teams have even been to the conference finals since the Supersonics in '79.
Which is crazy.
This is true.
So
I also want to point out every single member of one of these teams was a 2023 Knick. There's Obi Toppin for the Pacers, Julius Randle for the Timberwolves, Isaiah Hartenstein for the Thunder, and then the Knicks now. So there you go.
I thought at first you meant every single player on all 4 teams.
I meant every single team.
But either way,
everyone's a Knick.
Everyone is a Knick, and we have T-Wolves and Thunder on Tuesday night. That'll be Game 1 in Oklahoma City, and then the Knicks will host Game 1 on Wednesday, which seems kind of backwards, seeing as Oklahoma City was the last team to play. But hey, NBA schedule going to be NBA schedule. I don't know. On paper, obviously Oklahoma City still the prohibitive favorite, giving the 68-win regular season. I personally feel like the Thunder will win it all. I think being tested by the Nuggets and prevailing will end up catapulting them, although the T-Wolves are legit. I still will go with whoever wins the West, but I think, and I'm not trying to curse the Knicks here, I think it's going to be Knicks versus whoever comes out of OKC and Minnesota. As a nonpartisan NBA fan, Philip, what's your take on these last 4 teams remaining?
Yeah, I think the Knicks are a little more of a complete team than the Pacers. Just 1 through 8, 1 through 9. It seems like they can do it in more ways. However, the mind is a powerful thing, and not that the Knicks are not confident, not that they shouldn't be confident, but I can tell you, man, those Indiana Pacers are riding a really good high right now. Now, the question is, will the long layoff hurt them or help them? So that part of it is interesting. When you go to the West, man, it feels like it's been the T-Wolves blowing it the last couple years. They, I think, actually are probably a slightly better roster, but it seems like the Thunder are better in crunch time and better when it matters in the playoffs. So I think if the T-Wolves play to their fullest ability, I think their physicalness is a little better than OKC's. Of course, OKC found a way to overcome that in the previous series against the Knicks or against the Nuggets. Got the end part right, but none of the rest of it. I'm really intrigued by this conference finals. I think this is probably the most intriguing 4-team matchups that we've seen in a really long time, because it always seems like there's one series that you're almost penciling the one of the teams in.
Yeah, and Joe, you can comment on how you feel about Knicks Pacers when I asked this, but I saw somebody comment on NBA Reddit yesterday that said this is bad for the league because the parity. They were arguing that the league needs like a dominant face like, Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, for me as just a fan of sports and I'm just trying to be entertained. And I was entertained by the Nuggets for the entire playoff run, which was a goal. So I'm sad they lost, but I'm not my heart has not been stabbed. Like it felt like when the Broncos lost Super Bowl 48. But anyways, I don't know. I think it's great for the league. I think all these fan bases deserve this. I don't know. You are one of those members of the fan base, so what's your take on it?
I just get sick of this conversation year in and year out. People talking out of both sides of their mouth. All we heard last year on the NFL scope was, God, I hope the Chiefs don't three-peat. God, I hope the Chiefs don't three-peat. I'm so sick of the Chiefs. I'm so sick of this. I'm so sick of that. Oh, when Brady and the Patriots were on a dynasty run, I'm so sick of the Patriots. Oh, I'm so sick of the Golden State Warriors. I'm sick of the Heatles. Why do the Spurs have to find a way to just win random games? This is what you wanted. This is what people wanted. Yes. Were you hoping that possibly it wasn't going to be the 3 seed and then the 6 seed on one side? Absolutely. Do you get the 1 seed and a 6 on the other? Yes. But those are teams that played phenomenal basketball, reinvented themselves, and found a way to win. Regardless of me being a Knicks fan, the Knicks went into hostile territory and played the Celtics at their own game and outcoached Joe Mazzulla. That's what Tibbs did in the last 5 minutes of most of those games when they went on those 20-0 runs. That's how it went. The Pacers are the highest scoring team in the East in the last 15 years. They're going to score 160 points at one point against the Knicks. It's going to happen. Now, there's also going to be a game that's probably going to be 94-88 when you get to the last 3 minutes and people go, nobody scores anymore. This is ridiculous. The Timberwolves have, and I don't want to call it that because people are going to get fired up, the closest thing we've seen as far as talent and attitude to Jordan in the modern era. You've got Anthony Edwards. He's ready to take that step and do what he needed to do. And Jordan, before he went to the finals when he had his Scottie Pippen, never made it out of the first round. So these conversations, everybody wants to complain and do these things. And then you got SGA, who everybody calls a foul merchant or he shouldn't be the MVP, all those different things. The Thunder are the young team that should be exciting, should have their opportunity to do this. And it also makes for great content because now these other people are going to be in a conversation. How excited was everybody when Curry got his first ring? How excited was everybody when Durant finally got his first ring? It puts you in a different conversation when you look at regular season versus playoff performance. Tyrese Halliburton was voted the most overrated player by the entire NBA. All the players. Well, he's sitting 4 games away from going to his first NBA Finals. How can you not love it? And I'm not even a basketball purist in that regard, but this is what you wanted. This is the old school stuff of who's going to get a chance at Jordan, and you're hoping that somebody else makes it out of the East. You're hoping that you may get a rematch, and all of a sudden that Magic's going to come back with the Showtime in the 90s. And this is what you're getting. You're getting parity. You're getting the new things. The Nuggets last year. The year before that, we got the Celtics. The year before that, we got the Warriors again on a completely reinvented team. It's just new basketball. This is what you want.
I have a question for both of you. Why is there a double standard college to NBA? Let's go back to the 2023 Final Four. Everybody was jacked up. You've got 5-seeded Miami against 4-seeded UConn and 9-seeded Florida Atlantic against 5-seeded San Diego State. And people were like, most fun Final Four since all the ones in 2008. And here we are in the NBA, and we've got the same kind of scenario, and now everybody's ticked off. Why?
I guess it's just because of I don't know if it's media driven because you have these big markets and star power, which the media wants in these spots to generate more clicks, more views.
I agree, but New York's the biggest market of them all.
You're right, but
thank you.
I don't know, the Knicks.
It's not the Knicks.
Yeah, the Knicks really
games that Celebrity Row in Game 6 made it look like it. You got Timothy Chalamet over there hanging out with Kylie Jenner.
Yeah, but just type in New York Knicks on Twitter. You tell me.
Would the NBA rather have the Celtics or the Knicks in the spot? Definitely not the Pacers. I mean, if you're the media. But I don't know, man. I think it's more media and start. People want LeBron or whatever. Yeah,
I agree because here's the thing. What state is basketball the most important in? Indiana.
That is true.
What is a bigger market than New York? You'd have to go to Beijing or something to have a bigger market than New York.
That's a fair point. Madrid.
Where's Yao Ming when you need him?
Yeah, you've got the young fun team with the MVP candidate, and then this guy they said was too skinny to be in the league. Then you've got the
reincarnation of Kevin Durant.
You brought it up, Joe, a second ago when you were talking about people, Cat having that or not Cat.
Shay?
No, from the Minnesota.
Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, having that chip on his shoulder and kind of being that Jordan attitude. Remember last year when everybody hated Minnesota? Everybody's like,
yes,
they're jerks. I want them to be good so I can pull against them and hate them. I love to hate them. Well, come on, love to hate them again. Pull for the Thunder. Get upset. Be mad when the T-Wolves win a game, when they win game 2 in Oklahoma City. Throw stuff at your TV. Say they're all arrogant jerks. I mean, come on, man, this is fun.
I'm not going to lie. I'm in a dilemma because I didn't like the Timberwolves because of how Anthony Edwards carried himself. But then after watching SGA play a full series of basketball,
now you despise SGA.
Now I despise SGA, so I am all on the Minnesota bandwagon. Even though it kind of sickens me to pull for Anthony Edwards, but at least, like you said, Joe, he does play. He plays an arrogant brand of basketball, but at least it's not a foul baiting brand of basketball. So I can get down.
No,
with it. He's an ice cold killer. Yeah,
he is.
SGA is not a killer.
Yeah, I've got Knicks Wolves, and I've had Wolves in 6 this entire playoff run. And it goes back to after that first round when they destroyed the Lakers, because I was high on the Lakers and I ate my words, and I came back and I said, no. The Wolves are the best team in the West. I still stand by that. It's Wolves versus the Knicks in the finals. I think the Knicks get 2 wins, but the Wolves are going to get done. I don't think they have a match for Jaden McDaniels. I just don't think the Knicks have somebody on that bench who can guard him in that way and still play down low and do the things they need to do, especially if they go with the double center lineup with Naz Reid and Rudy Gobert in that situation. The Knicks just don't have the length unless they go with, I don't even know, Precious Achiuwa off the bench, maybe Ariel Hokapoto. It just gets difficult with that kind of length. So I like the Wolves a lot. I've liked the Wolves this entire playoffs, and I think Ant finally gets his first ring. I think Rudy Gobert gets the ring, and that's what's going to fire people up. And Julius Randle.
Let's touch the microphones, Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, never live it down. All right, let's get some quick NHL talk in before we wrap with ECU baseball. So running up against it as far as needing a break. Florida wins the series over Toronto. They dominated last night, winning 6-1 to advance to take on Carolina. That means Carolina gets home ice in the Eastern Conference Finals. On the west side, we get Dallas-Edmonton, which should be a phenomenal series. We'll start with Joe. Your take on Florida taking on Carolina in the conference finals.
Hey, first thing I got to say is congrats to Mitch Marner. You're a Carolina Hurricane. You're going to get $93 million this offseason for 7 years to come play with people who care about hockey. Because all that the Minnesotas and all that those friends up north care about is playing golf in the springtime and Austin Matthews getting back down to Arizona, because that was abysmal last night. That was terrible hockey to watch. The only person that cared was Mitch Marner, and you could tell. Brad Marchand, congratulations on stumbling your way into another possibility at a Stanley Cup. What a ridiculous thing that the league allowed to happen for him to just stumble onto the Florida Panthers. And most importantly of all, God, I hope that the Canes get a chance against the Stars in the Stanley Cup and Rantanen gets booed out of the state. Not the building. The building's not enough. I want him booed out of the state. I don't want him to be able to step into a Dunkin' Donuts and he isn't recognized, because this is ridiculous for him to just stumble now, find a way, and then do what he has to do and finally find a way to score a goal in a meaningful minute when he couldn't do it in a Carolina Hurricanes uniform, because now he feels at home. Oh, or that Connor McDavid guy, yeah, he's still pretty good at hockey, so he's going to get a chance to revenge on what he had last year, which is why it's going to hurt me to say it, but I really like the Oilers over the Panthers. I think it's time for history to be rewritten, and I think McDavid gets it done. I just don't think they have enough defense in Florida to kind of capitalize against Draisaitl in that offense in Edmonton.
Philip, your take on the 4 teams remaining. I will add, as a non-hockey guy, Mikko killed the Avalanche, his former team, so I do obviously much different story than his brief time in Carolina. But if it does come down to Dallas, Carolina, I don't know if Carolina's going to want to see him in the Stanley Cup Finals, but we'll see. Philip, your take.
Yeah, when it comes down to this Carolina thing, Brendan Moore's issue when he first got there was they were a really good regular season team. They were not built for the playoffs. They were not good enough on the power play. They were not physical enough. Well, they've proven all those doubters wrong over the past 2 series. But now you get the real test. You get the true blue-collar team that has won a cup in recent memory. You get just the team that everybody's kind of been fearing since the beginning of this playoffs. The team that everybody said was going to make the Stanley Cup Finals if they got to the first round. People were saying Lightning Panthers first round, winner of that series will make the Stanley Cup. And here you go, Carolina. This is your opportunity. There's still a lot of haters. There's PK Subban. There's guys throughout all of the media. There's fans that hate the Carolina Hurricanes that are not giving them the respect they deserve. Carolina, I give it to you. I think you're a championship contender regardless of what happens in this series, but you really want to put the haters to bed, the doubters to bed, you got your opportunity right here. Western Conference, yeah, man, the Oilers, they're on a mission, right? I think this is a very evenly matched series. A couple teams are better at one team's a little better at a couple things, another team's a little better at a couple things. At the end of the day, they got down 3-0 last year in the Stanley Cup Finals. They had to fight their way back. They were able to force Game 7, weren't able to win it. They know that they do have 2 of the 5 best players in the league, and having the best player on the ice is a big thing. They know that this is their opportunity to get back at the Florida Panthers. I do think it is going to be Oilers over the Panthers in a rematch from a year ago.
Should be some fun hockey in the days ahead. All right, Joe, we will close with this. It's been a tough season for ECU baseball. There's no doubt about that. Pirates, though, like everybody in Clearwater, start 0-0 in a double elimination tournament. Can the Pirates make a run at this thing? Will they
Everybody,
make a run at this thing?
Tell that to Rice and tell that to Memphis and UAB.
Well, they're not there, so they don't get
everybody gets a chance to
start 0-0.
The top 8 teams,
They do technically start 0-0.
They start 0-0
in
in
a chance to put a win on the board.
Will the Pirates make a run?
You know, I've gone back and forth with this answer for a while now. I think they get out of Tuesday. I think they win Tuesday. I think because then that next game matches up. What is it, Thursday after if they win Tuesday? Yeah, so you're going to get a chance Thursday. You're probably going to throw bursts on short rest. But I just don't know if you have the pitching after that to stay deep. And once you get into that loser's bracket and you're playing the day right after, I do not know if they have enough arms to do that. I just think that the American has been so good this year, especially with how streaky the offense has been and the lack of small ball they've been able to kind of put in situations, and they're not scoring enough runs. I just don't see it this year. I think this is one of the ones that the Pirates miss out on.
He is Joe Samson. Joe, on October 12th, will I see you in London for Broncos Jets?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not. Are you going to London?
No.
For Broncos Jets? If you had to choose a Broncos game, do you really want to fly all the way to London?
He's already got a Broncos game.
I'm going to Bengals Broncos Monday Night Football in Denver.
Yeah, that's a much better matchup. Why the heck would you want to watch us?
Joe, we do have a minute or two, so we cut you off with, Igo, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
We cut him off at the beginning of the segment, but I do want you to be able to say your piece on Juan Soto, just because it's going to make for better radio than Igo and I blabbing for 5 minutes at the end. So go ahead, Joe.
Look, it's what you wanted to do. It's what you wanted. And this is the same thing they told to James Harden when he was looking out and he wanted to leave. Just tell the people it's for the money. Tell them I took the most money. I took the best deal for my family and for the future. Don't try and lie that it's the organization. Don't try and say it's because I never felt like I was at home. Don't try and say all these things. Oh, I never felt like I was welcomed. I don't want to hear it, okay? If you wanted to go to the Mets, go to the Mets. Go play for Steve Cohen and go win the NL East, and that's enough for that fan base. Go ahead. They haven't won a World Series since we have either. So all these different conversations about the Mets being on the rise, one, haven't seen it. Two, you're relying on Mark Vientos to protect Juan Soto, so that's a much bigger than Aaron Judge. But, you know, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But don't try and come and spit this into the media and have Boris be your puppet and tell everybody that the Yankees never made them feel like home. Oh, they wouldn't give him a suite. They didn't want him a part of it. They didn't want him to outshine Judge. No. Don't lie. And then come in here and wave to the bleacher creatures. I'm so happy to be back. I love you guys. I miss you guys. And then go and put up a 1 for 10 for $758 million. Congratulations, Steve. Hope you don't have buyer's remorse. And obviously Soto's going to figure it out. But this year, after he came off his best offensive season in recent memory, bad look.
Well done, Joe Samson. Always a man of many words and many talents. We appreciate it, Joe.
Hey, glad to be on, guys. Always
Absolutely.
Good to be here.
We'll visit with you next week if we can, as well as baseball season may be over for the Pirates. We'll find out this time next week. All right, we will be right back to wrap up the show after this.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227. Your roof is a vital part of protecting your home and family from dangerous storms and hurricanes. At Assist Roofing, we install and maintain metal roofing that provides precise protection. Add value to your home while lowering utility costs with a fortified roof to last a lifetime. With 0% financing, grants, and Energy Star Green Roofing tax credit available. Call us to schedule a free consultation so you can weather any storm with confidence.
Make every day electric on the Kawasaki Electro 20 electric balance bike. Maximize the fun with long run times, impressive top speed, and Kawasaki build quality. Easy adjustability and smooth handling make everyday riding more enjoyable. And the standard MTB type tires provide off-pavement capability. The Kawasaki Electro 20 is the electric balance bike that's built to rip. Go to Ron Ayers Motorsports, Memorial Drive north of the airport, Greenville.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's cut in color. And let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
If you are interested in living longer and living stronger, Eastern Physical and Lifestyle Medicine is accepting new patients for a limited time. Finding a caring physician can be a challenge. Dr. Billy Smith is board certified in physical medicine and lifestyle medicine and has been practicing in the area for many years. Call for an appointment now to Eastern Physical and Lifestyle Medicine, 252-364-1108 in Greenville. That number again is 252-364-1108.
Looking for a great deal on a new Nissan?
At Greenville Nissan, we've got a great selection of new Nissans for under $30,000.
The stylish Nissan Sentra, offering top-notch fuel economy. The Nissan Altima, known for its comfort and technology.
The Nissan Kicks, the perfect combination with its compact design and performance. The Nissan Versa, delivering incredible value without compromising on features. And don't forget the Nissan Rogue, an award winner for 10 years in a row. Drive it home just for $22 down and $349 a month.
Visit GreenvilleNissan.com today.
Greenville Nissan, where we drive to serve.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227. Yo, ho, ho! And we're back to Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment here. Appreciate Joe Samson hopping on the show on this Monday. Also, thanks to Cliff Godwin. Got a few minutes left. Philip Pilkington rejoins us behind the glass. Some softball news over the weekend. East Carolina star outfielder Emma Jackson entered the transfer portal. Tough below for Shane Winkler and company, although they still have a solid core returning. But Jackson was a two-time all-conference selection, hit .362, 34 home runs, 104 RBIs after transferring in from Virginia Tech, where she started her career. So you lose Emma Jackson, also Morgan Johnson to graduation. So Pirates will have to rebuild the top of that order. Our schedule to bring back Anna Sawyer and some key pieces on the mound. But unfortunately, Philip, not a big surprise. Just this is college sports now. And look, Emma, I'm sure she'll be heavily sought after in the portal.
Yeah, you'd think so. You know, her last season, not this past year, the year before, so that would have been her sophomore year, I guess, first year of the program. Broke, I think it was the conference record for doubles. I know it was definitely the program record. So, look, just an all-around good hitter. She's a pretty good outfielder. She's got some power. Usually you don't have so many people these days in any bat and ball sport where the average is there and the ability to hit the long ball was there. We saw that home run hit in the conference tournament, landed on the hitting facility, same way that Dixon Williams did this past week. So, hey, man, you know you hate it, but then also we've talked about it at East Carolina. If you were a constantly losing players to Power 5, that means you're probably doing something right.
And look, Shane Winkler's done a great job in the portal the last number of years. So I think he will continue to get some players that didn't play a whole lot at Power 5 institutions like Emma Jackson and Morgan Johnson to continue to come here and have great success. And he'll pull from other areas as well. So I think Shane Winkler has proven he knows how to build a lineup, and you will see what he can do this offseason. I expect him to do some damage in the transfer portal in a good way. All right, so Johnny Robertson was in the stats section earlier, or the comment section with the stats. Basically, the stats section for Johnny. He says, in regards to ECU needing to improve its defense, they also need to improve on getting a hit. He's talking ECU baseball with runners in scoring position. Dixon Williams was 2 for 3 and also had a walk with the bases loaded. The rest of the team was 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position. Dixon had 6 of the Pirates' 10 RBIs. Lane Smith says 4-0 incoming. So Lane Smith is still predicting a conference championship, conference tournament title. So, look, we were talking, and we'll get more into this tomorrow because we only have about a minute left. But, I mean, going into the opener, ECU could easily win the opener. Like, you've got Ethan Norby, you've got Brad Pruitt, and you've got Ethan Young. Like, I'll take those 3 pitchers probably against mostly any 3 pitchers in the American. It's just, are you going to be able to get enough timely hitting per Johnny and not make the errors at the wrong time? But this team can certainly win the first game, and if you do that, that creates a big advantage going into Thursday. So, massive, massive moment for this team Tuesday. Philip, we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, I mean, let's just come out and say it is what it is. They're going to have to probably win Tuesday and Thursday if they want a shot. I just don't think with Antolik out, with Towers out, and then a few other guys that have been injured on the mound this year that there's going to be much of an opportunity to win this thing from the losers bracket. Just lack of depth.
Like we said, no team has ever won the whole championship from the losers bracket. I don't expect this to be a year it happens. Definitely not for East Carolina. So that makes winning the first game and potentially the second game all the more important. All right, we are out of time on this Monday. Again, thanks to Cliff Godwin. Also appreciate Joe Samson. As a final reminder, and we'll remind you again tomorrow, I should say, but reminder, we will have the watch-along tomorrow night. Again, we'll still have the show 12 noon and then do our watch-along on Tuesday night. We'll be giving away free subscription, also prizes as well, and brought to you by SupDog. So we'll see you then, and tune in for our 12 noon show tomorrow. We'll see you then. This has been Hoist the Colors.
This has been Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo. Get a recap of this show at 943thegame.com and on your IBX Media app, on Twitter, Facebook, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Tune in weekdays at noon to get your ECU sports fix with Stephen Igo and Hoist the Colors.